The smart thing to do. Okay. 2-3, and I just noticed that there's gonna be Aries and Oasis who are gonna be watching that video on YouTube.
It's Oasis.
They're gonna be like, I mean,
They're gonna be looking at you like.
They're gonna bully their teacher.
They're gonna be like, hey, Mr. Gilbert.
I know, right? Well, it's gonna be bad.
Did you know you're blonde?
There's that too. Thank you, Ellen. I've missed that. All right. Example number 1. Subtract a positive integer. Okay. So all we're doing for this is kind of like our last lesson. So 6 minus 15. Madeline, how am I going to do that? So if I'm subtracting a negative from a positive. Let me show you here. So what you can do is you can just take 15 minus 6, but you just have to know that your answer is going to be negative. And that's all you're going to do. So how many times is 6 going to 15, Logan? So what's 15 minus 6? How many times is 6 going to 15? 9. Yeah. Not technically no, but yeah, it also works for that. But technically no. Yeah, you can totally start. I am okay with you guys working ahead. I love that. Okay, yep, so -9 there. Okay, so that's example number 1. You guys feel good about that? Yeah, not bad. It's pretty much our last lesson. Example 2. Example 2, subtract a negative integer. Man, we just did this last lesson. Come on, book. We got this. I know we did. So 9 minus -2. So 9 minus -2. When you have 2 negatives, what's that going to turn into, Ellen? Yep. So what I like to do is if you see 9 minus and then another minus sign, those are just going to turn into one big plus sign. And so 9 plus 2, that's just going to be 11. Example 2. Letter A.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were.
No, I decided to skip that one because it was pretty repetitive. Okay. Letter B, we have 3 minus -5. This one's also pretty repetitive, but Logan, what am I doing here? Yep, 2 negatives are going to make a positive. So 3 plus 5, as we all know, is 8. Good job. Okay, that's example 1 and 2. Let's move on to our real world example. So example 3, real world example. Okay, so the wind makes the outside temperature feel colder than the actual temperature. How much colder does a temperature of 10 degrees Fahrenheit with a 30 mile per hour of wind feel than the same temperature with a 10 mile per hour wind? Ooh, I like that. So we don't end up dealing with a lot of wind around here, but if you move over to any kind of the eastern side of the state or anywhere in the desert, you're going to be dealing with higher winds. Yep, Florida has high winds. The Midwest has high winds. And during the winter, it gets really cold over there. So what happens if you have 10 degrees Fahrenheit outside and there's a high wind chill? So let's see here. We have 10 degrees Fahrenheit. And there is a 30 mile per hour wind. Then we're comparing that to a 10 mile per hour wind. Yeah. So there's a 20 mile per hour difference. Okay. So if we look at that little chart next to the question, so when it's 10 degrees Fahrenheit outside with 20 degrees, or not 20 degrees, 20 miles per hour, we're going to have -9 because that's our difference. The difference between 30 and 20 is -9 in that chart. And then when we have a wind speed of 30 miles per hour, it's going to be -12 because that's our higher temperature. And then we're going to be subtracting those because we're trying to find what is the difference between them. So negative 12 minus negative 9, so that's going to turn into negative 12 plus 9, which is going to give me a, when you have a bigger negative number than a positive number, it's going to be negative. So we have negative 3 degrees Fahrenheit colder. I'll write colder down here. You guys stop whispering, it's annoying. I can hear muttering. Okay, so that's all we're doing for that, for the word problem. And you would get a chart like that because you're not going to be able to figure out what these numbers are without that chart. All right, so that's all we have for that. It's more setting up the problem that's more challenging for this one. So you guys can finish up your lesson. You guys have, actually not see, 1 through 35 odd and then 1 through 5 odd for your worksheet. And I'll print out your guys' next lesson so you can start on that one if you'd like. Yes.